Hey guys, Shift 838 here. I was asked by a TI user to walk through and show a short video of how to load Kaal's DSR version 15 onto the IDE card. Because sometimes we have to replace the DSR, reload it because we've had to change out the battery or change out the clock module for some reason. So let's quickly go over the actual test system. So let me turn on the overhead light so y'all can see a little bit better. This is my 994A that's on the bench. This is my test unit that I use. It's completely out of the shell, as you can see. This is USB keys version 2. Completely taken after USB keys version 1 of Jedi Matt. He actually did a really good design. The only thing I changed, and this was by request from someone, I actually added a couple of connectors. That way you don't have to solder, at all. So everything comes in from the main board and from the power supply itself. So everything's solderless. Final GROM, the sidecar 1 megabyte SAMs, just got this from Arcade Shopper, works really good. FTC set at 1100, IDE card set at 1000, Tippy set at 1800, and this is my 838 IO. I'm actually retooling this. Couple of things I want to change. The side port over here, you see it's got power. This is kind of like the flex cable interface as far as the cabling system and what would plug into the side of the 4A. I'm retooling it because a couple of things I want to change, something I want to add to it. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to turn off the overhead light for you to be able to see. No glare, hopefully. Resituate. So I typically do a test. I'm not going to do that to this card because I've already done it like 20 times or more in a row. So we're just going to load the DSR. So I'm going to go in, select Q to load the DSR. Like I said, this is set at 1000. So we're actually going to select 1, and then we're going to, for the CRU address, 10 means 1000, 12 means 1200, 13 means 1300, etc. So we're going to put in a 0. It's going to scan the card. It's going to find the 838 clock module, which is the BQ4802. It's completely compatible with the 4847, but you do have the option to be able to change a bad crystal or change a dead battery, where in the other one, you did not have that option without carving it open, which I don't think anyone really wanted to do. I actually did it. It's not fun. You have to be exact. So now we're going to set the actual date and time. Today is November 5th. It's 9:30 p.m. So now it's set. We'll go back into TI Basic, call IDE TD. We'll actually display time and date. You can see it's 21:30 and 11. I'll do it again just so you can see the seconds are cycling. That actually shows you the crystal's working. And the crystal's working. If it doesn't cycle, then you could have a bad crystal or a bad connection between the crystal and the clock chip. So with that being said, now we're going to exit out of this. I'm going to go ahead and reset the final GROM completely. We're going to go in, now we're going to go into disk utilities. You get this from Fred's site as well. I'll put links and everything at the end of the video. We're going to go into it so we can create some partitions. I have a 512 megabyte CF card mounted and power with a power modification to get the power from the actual IDE card. So we're going to create a partition table, IDE 1. Typically they would not show any of these, but I already have partitions on there, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe them. There's nothing really on there. So 7C000 is a 260 megabyte partition roughly. Good thing with Fred's program, it recalculates. First, it calculates and knows exactly how many sectors you have total. And then as you create the partitions, it's recalculating every time. And then if you don't have enough sector size of something you've put in for the last partition, it knows that you don't have enough and it will automatically max it out to the maximum you actually have available now. And what you will see happen now, because I know I do not have 260 megabytes left on this 512 megabyte card. So if I do 7C, it's going to kick it down automatically. There it is. Hit S for save. Yes to confirm. Now we need to initialize, not format initialize, just initialize. 4 to initialize, 1 for IDE. Now you need to tell it your IDE device or your partitions. So we know we want IDE 1 because we only have 2 partitions. We're going to call this CF1 P1 and tell it to proceed. It will light up on the actual IDE card. You'll see the LED fluctuate, show you it's actually formatting. Put that over here, you can see it. It's formatting. It's done. Put this back in its holder. Now we're going to do the same thing for partition 2. Fred's program remembers what you just did. So we're going to just change that last character to a 2. Say yes. It's formatting. And it's done. So now we can display our available devices. So we're going to select 1 to display, and then we'll 1 for IDE. And it shows you both IDE 1 and 2 available. So now we're going to go into DM2K, another good utility from Fred. I have 3.0 on here. I believe it's up to 3.4. You can get it from his website. I suggest you check his website periodically to see if there are any updates for DSRs, because he's always fixing bugs or, could be adding features. So we're going to go in DM2K 3.0. We're going to go to IDE 1. We're going to press F8. I'm going to make a directory, DSK1. This is for the DSK1 emulation, which is enabled by default. You can turn this off. If your IDE card is a higher CRU than your floppy disk controller, turn it off, because it's not ever going to hit it unless you physically tell it to. But for this instance, we're going to create it with 1000 so I can show you the DSK1 emulation working. So we're going to go ahead and go into Extended Basic. We're going to create a small program. Save it. I'm going to save it as load. You can see it already runs, of course. Get out of it. So we're going to go back into Extended Basic, and what's going to happen is it's going to hit the DSK1 subdirectory since the DSK1 emulation is enabled, and since the IDE card is at CRU 1000, which is before the actual FTC. So since it's before, it's going to find it. And when it finds it, it will load it up. There you go. Just like that. You can also access it now once it's loaded up the first time. Just like this, and it will see it and find it. Right there. So there's tons of little calls you can do from basic and extended basic with this DSR. Get familiar with it. You can display the time as I show you. You can display the actual status of the IDE card. Fred has even put in routines to be able to look at the voltage of the actual battery and tell you what your battery level is, if it's okay or if it's low. This shows you the DSK1 emulation is enabled. Like I said, you can turn that off. So just go to his site and look at all the different calls that he has around this DSR. There's a lot of useful information there that you will be able to use this card to its full extent. So I hope this has been helpful for everyone. Please leave comments. If you have questions, feel free to contact me, private message on Atari Age, or if you have my personal email, that's fine. You can hit my website, do a contact form there. I'll put all that information at the end of this video and in the comments. Thanks again.